Okay, on your piece of paper, you are going to go to the first box, the one that you've labeled number 1, and you are going to answer this question. Which elephant ear made your hand feel cooler? You're deciding between ear number 1, which was the sticky note, or ear number 2, which was the index card. Which elephant ear made your hand feel cooler? Okay, like colder. If you have no idea, you might need to try that experiment again and really compare which one felt cooler to you. So once you found your answer, once you've decided on your answer, you are going to write your sentence in box 1. In highlighted right now, you can see that I've given you the sentence stem, which you are going to write, but you are going to fill in the blank. So you are going to write elephant ear number either 1 or 2 made my hand feel cooler. Notice I have a period at the end, capital at the beginning. Pause the video as you decide which elephant ear you believe was making your hand feel cooler, and once you have written that sentence. Okay, if you are on number 2, this means you've already filled out box number 1 with your sentence. And hopefully in that first box, you said that the answer was ear number 2. The index card was more effective or better at cooling your hand. So number 2 is why. Why was the ear number 2, which was the index card, more effective in cooling your hand? Now, if you picked number 1, why don't you go back to box 1 and fix your answer? This is a freebie point. Lucky you. So we're on box number 2 though. So you're going to decide why that number 2, why ear number 2 was better at cooling your hand or more effective. In that box number 2, you are going to write the sentence, ear number 2 was more effective in cooling my hand because it, and then you're going to fill in the blank. What made ear number 2, that index card, what made it better at cooling off your hand? Pause the video until you have your sentence written in box 2. Remember to put capitalization and punctuation. Okay, if you are still watching, that means you have filled out boxes 1 and 2 already. If you haven't, go back and pause the video. Now we are on to box number 3, where we are going to write our answer to the third question. The third question is this: elephants live in a very warm environment. How do you think having big ears helps elephants survive well in their environment? So we just did this experiment where we were pretending to have different size ears, and we put water on our hand and we are trying to cool off our skin. So if we know that elephants live in places that are very warm, how do you think those big ears help them survive well in their environment? What do you think those big ears do for them? You're going to write a sentence in box 3, and you're going to follow the sentence stem that is highlighted. I think having big ears helps elephants survive well in their environment because what? You're going to fill in the blank and explain what those big ears help with. What do those ears help with? Pause the video until you have your sentence written in box 3. All right, last question. You should have boxes 1, 2, 3 already filled out by now. If you do not, you'll need to rewind the video and do those first. Number 4, question number 4 says, what might happen to elephants if they had small ears? So imagine this. We just explained why it was good that they had big ears, but what would happen to the elephants if they had small ears? How would that change their life in their environment? What might happen to elephants if they had small ears? You're going to fill in box 4 in with this sentence stem. If elephants had small ears, they might what? I don't want to hear answers about what they would be able to hear, or they might not look as cute. I want it specific to what we have just been working on, which was, what was the purpose of the big ears? And if they no longer have those big ears, how would that change what they are able to do in their environment? Go ahead and pause the video, write this sentence down. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, if you have finished questions 1, 2, 3, and 4 I want you to double check that you have a capital at the beginning of every single sentence. I want you to double check that you have a period at the end of every sentence. I want you to double check that you have used the sentence stems for every sentence. And then what you are going to do next is submit this to Schoology. Keep watching to figure out how.